As we said yesterday during our special coverage of President Trump's remarks from New Jersey, if there's one thing that may be occurring here that wasn't expected, it's almost the 100% unification of the Republican Party speaking in outrage over how President Trump is being treated. Even his political opponents running against him right now, except for Chris Christie. Our next guest, Representative Ronny Jackson of Texas, former physician to the president. You didn't need any rallying here, but boy, your statement was bold and unapologetic yesterday. You are ready to go to war for this man.
Yeah, I mean, this is not about Donald J. Trump anymore, Larry. This is about all of us. I mean, if they can do this to Trump, I mean, this is not the country that, so many of our brave Americans have fought and died for, and the freedoms that we've enjoyed, throughout my lifetime, and I was hoping to pass on to my kids and my grandkids. This is crazy. We cannot let this happen on principle alone. I mean, he's done it. They trumped these charges up. Excuse the pun. They've trumped these charges up, and made this into a much bigger deal than it ever should have been, just so they could get the charges out there. They're going to try anything they can. They don't even care who how transparent they are about what a double standard and what a real witch hunt this actually is. They don't care about that stuff anymore. They feel like they have so much power, so much authority, so much top cover from the mainstream media and from social media and from Democrats and everyone else that's part of their inner circle, including control of the Justice Department and the FBI and all the organizations that they control as from the Oval Office as part of the executive office of the president. They feel like they have so much top cover and so much authority that they can be really blatant about this and just go after him and do this and not even worry about the obvious double standard here between the way that Biden's been treated, the way that Pence was treated, the way that Hillary Clinton was treated, and the way that they're coming after him on this. They have no limits to what they will do to try to bring this man down. They are terrified of him. Make no mistake about it. They know if he gets back in office that a lot of them are gone, right? Gone.
Congressman,
and
if I could just follow up on that, because you just mentioned the double standard here, and I look at other media just to see how they're covering these stories, and in most quarters right now, you hear this tone of incredulity from people who are saying, these MAGA supporters, these Republicans, he's gained popularity with them after being indicted. You hear people, even if he's guilty of what they said, we still support him. And they're so dumbfounded by that. And I wonder if you could maybe shed a little light on that, because there really does seem to be this disconnect between two factions in this nation.
Right, because the reality is that people that know what's going on, they watch the news and they see some of the some of the stuff that's out there that's accurate about what he actually had, and and the fact that he had some documents. But yes, guess what? So did Obama, so did Bush, so did Clinton, so is every other president that's left office. They've taken things with them to go through, and I'm sure they end up returning some stuff and keeping some stuff. Some stuff was classified when it was there, but not. People understand this. People know this. People know that they're doing this because he's Donald Trump, and and I think the reason people support him despite these charges is because they know these charges are inflated, that these charges are not really what they would like the public to believe that they are, and they know that it's an effort to keep him out of office because he is doing the right thing for our country. He was draining the swamp, and I say all the time, it's Republicans and Democrats. There's a lot of Republicans out there that don't want the swamp drained either, because they live and thrive in the swamp, and that's where they make their money, that's where they get their authority, their power, their influence from. They don't want somebody like Donald Trump coming in and ruining that for them. And and I just think that but the American people, the people in the Republican base, the people that really believe in make America great and and keep America first, those people see this for what it really is, and it's a politically motivated hit job to try to keep this man from being able to run for president, and people are turned off and disgusted by that, and that's solidifying the support that he has for his presidency and bringing him back into office.
Congressman Jackson, there seems to be some pretty credible allegations against President Biden and his brother and his son and other members of the family. When asked about these charges, the president shrugged, smiled, and said, "Where's the money?" Well, I think there's about 20 different shell corporations where that money might be hiding in. I know that your colleagues in the Oversight Committee are looking into that. What needs to be done next? Because clearly this Justice Department and this Attorney General, they are compromised. They're not doing anything about it. So what can be done?
Well, I think it's going to be up to the oversight in the House of Representatives and Jim Jordan and Jamie Comer and people like that are going to be able to go after this and find this stuff, because his statement, "Where's the money?" is just another example of how he thinks he's untouchable. I mean, and they conduct themselves like a mafia family would, right? They really are the Biden crime family, and that's how they conduct themselves, like they're untouchable. And I think it's going to be up to these guys that are in Congress that are chairing these committees, these oversight committees, to dig into this stuff and to demand to get those records and to expose some of the stuff that's going on. And they're trying to do that, obviously. We had the FBI memo, the secret FBI memo that was released the same day that, that these charges against Trump came out. And the reason that happened was because they knew that story was about to take off, where Biden had accepted potentially $5 million bribe from a Ukrainian oil company, and distributed that among family members. And in this secret FBI memo that they finally got access to exposes some of that. Suddenly, this comes out about the indictment and the charges against President Trump, and it completely changes the narrative. And the left-wing media and the mainstream media takes that story and runs with it, and they don't talk about what's going on with Biden. And there was a deliberate reason that they did that, and that's their superpowers. They control the press.
Congressman Jackson, you're a man of many hats. I'd love for you to put your medical hat on for a moment. You've examined presidents in the White House and ensured that they're fit for office. And I know that you're loath to diagnose President Biden, but based on his public appearances, his public statements, and his behaviors, have you seen enough to reach some level of conclusion right now about this man's abilities?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I saw it before he was even president. I was talking about this whenever I was a candidate running for office, and he was running for office as well. And I was like, this man has no business being president of the United States. He'd been vice president for a long time. I didn't take care of him. He was not my patient, but I was around him in the West Wing on a day-to-day basis. I had seen him like everybody else. There's 40 years of tape on this guy. You can go back and see he's always made gaffes. But something has changed over the last few years. His window of opportunity to be a competent commander-in-chief closed some time ago before he got into office, and now he's just he's just completely unprepared cognitively and physically to do this job. And you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a former White House physician to 3 presidents like I was to be able to see this. The American people see what's going on, and they understand this man should not be in office.
Yeah. But it's a tough job. You've been there, you've seen it. If he's that compromised, he can't actually be. What's happening here? Who's making the decisions? And don't we, the American people, deserve to know? Shouldn't you, as a congressman, know?
Yeah, we should know. And I mean, that's why they're propping him up again, because there's a lot of people behind the scenes in the West Wing, and probably even some folks that are still associated with the Obama administration. And who knows, probably some Clinton folks in there. But there's a core of people that are basically dictating what happens in this country. And he's just a vessel by which they pass it through. They roll him out when they need to, get him to sign some stuff, get him to read off the teleprompter to the extent that he can for a few minutes. And they put him back in the basement and try to keep him out of sight, out of mind for the rest of the time. But those people want him to be president again, because when he leaves, they're gone, right? I mean, somebody else comes in, they're not going to keep these same. So these people, the power and the influence that they have from the West Wing or wherever they're operating from is dependent on Joe Biden being our president. And it's not the American people did not elect these people to run our country. Joe Biden was on the ballot, not these people that are behind the scenes pulling the strings right now.
Yeah. Finally, throw on that military hat for a moment. If people don't know, you're a retired admiral in the Navy, and we saw the Pride event at the White House with the Pride flag taking center stage, front and center, posted with the American flag flanked on either side. We all love our flag, but I know members of the military, they see something like that and it hits something even deeper. I'd love for you to react to it.
It was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. You had Joe Biden standing up there talking to this group of people out there, these transgender people running around the South Lawn taking their clothes off and telling the American people that these are the bravest people he's ever been around. That's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic. And the way that this man panders to the transgender community in particular is just absolutely disgusting. I'm done with it. I know a lot of people in this country are done with it. It's a destructive movement in this country. And I'll be honest with you, it's not only destroying American society in general, but if I were your typical lesbian, gay member of that community, the transgender community is destroying their message and their community as well. So I don't understand how this continues to grow in popularity. But these people, they're in control, man. They are running the left. There's no mistake about it.
Well, there you go. He's a retired admiral. He's a doctor who treated presidents. He's a congressman, and He happens to be the boss of our favorite comms director on Capitol Hill. You keep Sarah around. She's a good one. Thanks, Congressman Jackson.
You bet. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
There's more to come on O'Connor tonight. Keep it here on Salem News Channel.